Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All in channel, host Sega Forever. I know it's been a while since I did a video like this, um, but I thought it'd be a good idea to bring it back. As you guys know, I talked about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Actually, really loving the game. I'm kind of in the Vatican area right now, and have not been able to leave just because I like that area so much. But I've been just really enjoying the game. It's probably, like I said this on Twitter, it's probably the best Indiana Jones movie I've seen in years. Um, because it does capture a lot of the things that, if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, you'll love. And I'm talking from the dialogue to the story, the actual character of Indy. They nailed him right. They got him just right. They nailed him. Harrison Ford doesn't voice the character, doesn't do the character voice of Indiana Jones, but Troy Baker does, and he sounds really good. Like, I'm surprised how much he sounds like Indiana Jones, especially considering the amount of dialogue that he has to do for the game. And I'm not even fully into the game. Like I said, guys, I'm in Vatican City right now. And I'm just enjoying every single minute of it, enjoying all the exploration I'm doing, finding all the artifacts. Even the fight mechanics of the game are pretty solid, dude. I mean, I like to go to the fisticuffs when I play as Indiana Jones, but there's a lot of stuff you can do. You have your whip, you can pick up objects, you can even use weapons, you can use a pistol. There's all kind of things you can do in the game, and that's where I find myself right now. It's amazing to me because I think a lot of people, myself included, thought it was going to be like a more story-driven game, kind of a one and done. And I should have known better because Bethesda, Machine Games is the guys who worked on this game, and Bethesda in general. Todd Howard, as we talked about last podcast, is a huge fan of the franchise. It's probably one of those movies that was pivotal in his development as a person who creates and writes stories in his own right. And so, um, man, dude, I mean, it's just such an amazing game. And all the drama surrounding the game in the beginning, I feel sorry. Um, I feel sorry for the game itself, and for the fans, man, because I think there's a lot of fans that are going to miss out on this game because of all the woke stuff, all the stuff going on in the culture right now, the culture wars, which have been going on for a long time, guys. I've been in this thing since, man, it's been at least 2 decades, man. And even before that, if I'm being honest, just for the simple fact that I'm a comic book guy, and it was really bad in comic books. And it's one of the reasons why comic books have died, basically. A lot of the people who write comic books, who draw comic books, a lot of those guys, they let their politics get involved and their ideology, and it just ruined the industry. And it's I don't think it's ever going to recover, especially with the newer generation. One thing you guys got to keep in mind, when in pop culture, when you're moving forward, dude, there comes a point in time where guys like us, guys, if you guys know how old I am, I know a lot of you guys who watched the streams and stuff like that. And we're all about the same age. The one thing you guys got to realize really quickly is that there's going to be a changing of a guard when it comes to this kind of thing. I think our generation has held on more than most, um, but eventually, man, the next generation is going to take over. I see that with my kids, and my kids don't have the same taste or the same interest that I have. I'm not saying that they don't like those things, but it's just not their generation, dude. I mean, there's a lot of things that made us who we are and made us consume pop culture the way that we do. And for the younger generation, they don't have to. They're not going to have that same type of influence. And I'm not saying that there aren't. I see some Gen Z people doing some stuff that a lot of us as Gen X do and are interested in. But when it comes to the business aspect of this kind of thing, man, it's just a different ballgame, right? And the culture, the business and the culture, man, it's just a different ballgame. And eventually, we're gonna have to move on. And eventually, a lot of us will move on, man. We're getting up there in years, you know what I mean? So it's gonna happen. And then the passing of the torch will be to the next generation. And given everything that's happened now, especially over the last 3 or 4 years, with everybody becoming more aware of what's going on in pop culture and how pop culture could actually die, and are kind of fighting back, dude, I'm all for it. Now, the unfortunate thing about this, I was just talking to my daughter about this the other day. The unfortunate thing about this and what can happen is that there's a pendulum swing coming when it comes to all the stuff that's going on in pop culture, and I'm talking about the culture war. situation, um, and it's actually swung the other way. But sometimes it can swing a little bit too far, or more importantly, I'll put it to you this way, guys. There's going to be casualties in any war. There's casualties, and there's definitely going to be casualties on the culture war because a lot of people are shifting their attitude. A lot of people are shifting their belief systems and what they felt like maybe 5 6 years ago is not what they're feeling right now. I tell you guys all the time on this channel, be wary of the things the way that you process things, as far as thinking, belief systems, ideology, because a lot of times I know some of you guys are younger than me, but as you get older, man, in the case of gaming, your taste can change, right? And the taste in the thing of politics, your politics can change. When you get older, you get a little bit more responsibilities. You start families, you have kids, all of those things, man. All these milestones in life, dude, they can change you as a person. So when you look back at your life, like the way I used to think about things when I was younger, have changed. Not a lot of it, I'll be honest with you guys. I've always been kind of the same person, and that's just because the way I was raised and my belief system and stuff like that, dude. But as I've gotten older, man, I've gotten a little bit more. I'm able to look at things a little bit more across the board. I guess is the best way I can put it. I'm not so hardcore on some of the stuff that I believe in. I still have some principles and values that'll never change. But then a lot of things like living in a different part of the country, joining the military, um, living in a different state, actually having family, actually having kids, actually dealing with financial situation, right? The responsibility, like owning a home, stuff like that, right? So the way that you feel about things when you're 20, when you're 30, you're gonna be different. When you're 40, you're gonna be different. And some people, man, they just do like total 180s in their life when it comes to that. If you guys are politically charged and you guys seen what happened in the politics this year, man, a lot of people were shocked, right? When a lot of the numbers dropped and people started looking into the little details of why people voted the way they did and all that stuff, right? All of those things factor in. So what does this have to do with Indiana Jones, right? Um, for the most part, man, it's just the game right now as it stands as I'm playing it. I don't see any type of woke stuff in there. I don't see no DEI stuff in there. In fact, all I see is just a well written game created by a team of people that actually love the character of Indiana Jones, man. And you hear a lot of people saying that, and they should be saying that because this it's rare in this day and age for people to make a game like this. And this is so far, guys. I'm in Vatican City. I have not gotten all the way through, but I've seen people's commentary on the game, and they've actually finished or near finishing the game, and they're loving every single minute of it. I saw one person talk about some DEI stuff and whatever in the game, but I'm telling you right now, from what he was saying, I mean, it's personal preference at this point, right? One of the characters that was a concern for a lot of people in the game, by all accounts, all of the stuff people worried about did not happen. Again, I'm being very vague because I don't want to spoil it, because I really want people to play the game, man, and it's an experience, especially again if you're a fan of Indiana Jones. This game got into my head so much that I actually went and bought um, the what is it called? The four movie collection. Now I wanted just the three movie collection. Didn't have a choice. That four movie collection, 4K UHD on the Microsoft Store. Um, I don't have it on the Microsoft Store. Wanted to support the game. Wanted to support Xbox. Wanted to support Microsoft. So I went and got the game. Now I want to let you guys know that if you buy the game in the Microsoft Store now, it's like $49.99 for all four movies digital with 4K UHD. Then the other day they dropped their sales again. Now it's down to 19.99. So go and buy it for 19.99, guys, if you guys want to. It's a good buy, right? Again, it's a 4K. It's all UHD. It has all four movies. Again, I'm not a. For me, it's more about the first three movies, right? The fourth movie and the movie after that, I don't really care about. But naturally, my favorite movie. Well, I'd have to say Indiana Jones is hard. It was Raiders of the Lost Ark into the Last Crusade game. Absolutely love the Last Crusade. Love the Last Crusade even more because of the game I'm playing right now. Because I'm playing the Great Circle right now, and it's awesome, dude. And so I still have a lot to go uncover about the game, but I just want to kind of put that out there. And then I want to read this article that Kotaku did. Yes, Kotaku. I know they normally suck, right? These guys wear their hearts on their sleeves, These dudes are flaming liberals, right? You can tell in their writing, right? They're the organization that writes about stupid things in gaming that just shouldn't be. Representation, all of that crap, right? And it's not that you can't talk about representation; it's just the way that they weaponize it. Is what I never liked about Kotaku, right? Total. They all have a white savior complex over there, which is ironic, right? You see that a lot going on in the media, where a lot of these people that are writing these articles are usually white, and they're basically complaining about their whiteness. I'm like, look, dude, I have no time for you. I have no time for you. Your white savior complex, dude. Just write a good article, dude. Just write it as a person, as a gamer. And that's a problem with a lot of the media. These guys aren't gamers. This is why I don't really, dude. If you can't tell me anything, I don't know. What's the point of me like reading what you wrote? But this article is pretty amazing. I'll have to say. And if Kotaku would actually do more articles like this, they'd actually have a reader base. They would. And then for a lot of these media, and I'm talking mainstream media as well, people are just done with them, right? They're done with their BS. They're done with their lying. They're done with their temper tantrums. They're done with their name calling, right? Just because you don't agree with a person politically. Look, dude, the guys in the group that we all come from different parts of the country, all have our different belief system, right? You can tell by the way we talk in these podcasts, right? But we still do podcasts together. We still talk about stuff, and for us, it's all about the games and it's all about Xbox. But everybody can have their different opinion, dude. And then sometimes, I've known people for years, man, because they don't agree with my politics or things that I say or how I feel, and they've moved on, right? And that's just the way life is. So it is what it is at the end of the day, guys. But hold on, let me share this. So this is kind of a first for me. I'm actually going to read this article. Normally, I don't read the articles. I just kind of comment on it. So the video might run a little bit long. Sorry, I'm doing this format. Wanted to do the podcast, but I got stuff to do today. Something last minute popped up, and pretty tough situation. I'll be honest with you, man. But let me get this rolling. Sorry, guys. I'm pulling this up real quick. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Let me try and adjust this. Sorry if anybody jumps into the chat. Oh, wait, hold on. I wanted to try and make it. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Make it at least a little bigger. But again, Kotaku. Yeah, Kotaku. I know. I'm shocked. And so the writer of the story, let me acknowledge him because this is his work that did. This is his article. So let's acknowledge him, Zach Zwiesen, right? So he's the person who wrote this article. I actually love this picture too that they did. When I saw this picture, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is probably going to be a good review." You can tell by the thumbnails, right? You can tell by what the pictures they put in the article. I mean, it's a no brainer. But Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, the Kotaku review. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is not what I was expecting. Yeah, a lot of people um, say the same thing, and that's coming from people that didn't have any like they don't know anything about the woke stuff. They're not dialed in to all the political aspects of gaming. All they know is it's Indiana Jones, and they wanted to play as Indiana Jones. A lot of them were probably older. Indiana Jones might have been a childhood hero. He probably grew up in the world of Indiana Jones. Basically, what Todd Howard was talking about, like how he bought the jacket, how he just felt that all of that stuff was real. And again, it had an impact on his storytelling. So my expectation and fear was that developer Machine Games' AAA action-adventure doctrine of the popular franchise starring Harrison Ford would play mostly like Uncharted, but in the 30s and with more Nazis. Yeah, I see people say that a lot. You guys know I'm not a big PlayStation guy. I played the first Uncharted. I thought it was okay. Um, I mean, it's a really good game, but yeah, I don't make that correlation. In fact, a lot of these games that have this type of action adventure, especially AAA games now, they all borrow from Indiana Jones. There's a lot of people that grew up watching this franchise, and this is why a lot of people are disappointed in the newer movies that have come out. Thankfully, Great Circle is nothing like Tomb Raider, Uncharted, or the countless other games that have been directly inspired by Spielberg's iconic 80s adventure film. Instead, Great Circle mixes Hitman-like stealth, Dishonored-like first-person gameplay, yeah, that's true, and some escape room puzzle design to create a unique, open-ended experience that feels both fresh yet distinctly like Indiana Jones. Yeah, the escape room puzzle stuff. The puzzles have been the thing that I've loved the most, right? Because it's just not puzzles on the sake of just moving forward in the game. It's puzzles that is just very specific to something that Indiana Jones would deal with in the movies. Let's see what it is. Out now on Xbox and PC, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle takes place in 1937. After Raiders of the Lost Ark, sorry guys, it's going to reload. Is it still going? Hold on. Yeah. It's probably my internet connection, dudes. My bad. Uh, hold on. Let me. Oh man, this thing is my internet is like really bad. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Sorry guys, this thing's not. I hate using the. I hate using. I need to use this thing here. Wow, this thing is like really slow. Is it all these ads? It's probably all these ads. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Damn, this thing is slow. Sorry, out now on Xbox and PC. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle takes place in 1937 after Raiders of the Lost Ark, but before the Last Crusade. The game opens with a flashback tutorial sequence that perfectly recreates the tone, feeling, and pacing of the iconic opening of Raiders, complete with outrunning the boulder and a digital Alfred Molina. Yeah. Sorry, there's going to be a little bit of spoilers, guys. I should have warned you in the beginning. I'm warning you now. Dude, I cannot adjust this thing. Hold on. Wow, this thing is bad. Why is it doing this? Sorry, guys. This thing is like really not moving. The game opens with a flash. Okay, I read that part. It's the most fan servicey moment in the entire 30-ish hour game. So that's the opening of the game he's talking about, which is basically Raiders of the Lost Ark. The opening scene for Raiders of the Lost Ark. But it also serves a purpose here beyond introducing you to great circles mechanics. The opening of Raiders is famous. Everyone knows it. So no matter how familiar you are or aren't with the franchise, you'll likely get a kick out of this action-packed intro. Yeah. So when you begin the game, you start off as Raiders with the opening sequence of Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the great thing about it is it'll introduce you to um, the gameplay mechanics, as the guy was saying, but more and what to expect out of the game. But more importantly, dude, it sets the tone. It sets the tone for the game, which is the most important thing. Like you play these games, and then you begin to realize, oh, okay, I know what I'm in for. Dude, this is really irritating me. Sorry. So the problem I have with my computer is I can't use the mouse like this. You see how it's skipping? And I try to adjust my mouse and I can't. Look at this, dude. It's just like, it just doesn't want to do it. I wonder if it's these ads. Ah, it's just so irritating. Yeah, dude. I don't know if I can continue to do this because I can't get this. Dude, this is so irritating. See, it'll skip. See how I was skipping? I wonder if it's because I'm sharing it. Yeah, let me do this thing. See, so I'm right here, right, and I can't get to the next one bound. But this serves this intro serves another purpose still by recreating it in Great Circle. Machine Games proves right out of the gate that yes, the first person perspective was the perfect choice for an Indiana Jones game. For the first time in any game, I truly feel like Indiana Jones. Yeah, that was a lot of complaints that people had, like playing in the first person perspective, which a lot of people don't like to do. I have no problem with it because I played first person perspective growing up playing the games that I did. But I do agree, like Hebot said, he wished that they had actually put in an option to do that. But again, when you play the game, you realize why they did it. Wow, this thing is like, you know what I should have done? I should have copy pasted this thing. I get why some questioned this choice before launch. For years, every game that tried to emulate indie cinematic adventures did so via the third person perspective. And that's just how we usually expect action adventure games to play in 2024. Here's the secret though. This ain't an action adventure game. The Great Circle is instead an Indiana Jones simulator. Yeah, that's true. 100% right there. And the first person perspective is the part of that. Indiana Jones isn't punching Nazis, leaping across large spiked pits, or solving ancient riddles. No, instead, you are doing all of that stuff as Indy. You are getting to live out the fantasy of being the world's greatest archaeologist. And the first person perspective is key to making that work. That's 100%. That is 100% right there. That's one of the things I felt right when I started playing the game. And I felt it the most when I started like actually punching people. Right, and then you have the feeling of it, dude. You actually experience it. It's visceral, but then also you put in the sound effects and stuff like that. And there's a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm playing the game, dude, I'm just running the soundtrack through my head. Dun, 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 I just that runs through my head a lot of the times when I'm playing the game. Because again, he's right, dude. You just feel like Indiana Jones. And no, this isn't a linear cinematic action game like I expected. That's true. There are definitely missions and moments that limit what you can do and where you go. But for the most part, Great Circle plays more like the newer Deus Ex sequels or Dishonored. You aren't completing a dozen different levels, but instead exploring a handful of large, dense, and highly detailed maps filled with things to collect, side quests to complete, mysteries to solve, and enemies to avoid or fight. The first big map you get to explore is set in the Vatican, and you can easily sink 8 to 9 hours into the first map, completing everything. Discovering every shortcut, yes, this is all true, and collecting all there is to collect. I admit that initially I wasn't sure if this design would work, but that's because I was expecting Great Circle to perfectly recreate the pacing of an Indiana Jones movie, just like so many other games have tried to do. Yeah, what Great Circle is really offering with these large maps is an indie sandbox, and it's glorious. Yeah, it's kind of an indie sandbox, like it's an open world, but it's very personalized, right? And I think that's why a lot of people are enjoying the games. And like the article says, like you'll be in certain parts of the Vatican, dude. There's alternate ways to get through stuff. Like I'm the type of person. That's why it takes me so long to finish games, dude. I always gotta know what's around the corner. Even though, even though if as I'm playing the game and I'm thinking there's nothing there, I still have to go check. Dude, that's just the way I am. And so I found a lot of the alternate routes. Like there's one room that I went into. I thought there was only one way, and then when I got into the room, I saw that I had another option. One was through a switch, right? You can use the switch by putting something heavy on it. The other one, and then there's also a way you could get in just using a heavy item like a big like a candle, not a candlestick, but just a rod, like a heavy rod, and then you could just hit the wall and it'll break it. The reason why I didn't see it the first time is because I didn't have my torch, right? This is what the guy's kind of talking about, dude. It feels 100% like Indiana Jones, like straight up. Okay. Uh, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a mechanically rich game in which every piece and part seems to interact with each other. Nearly any object can be picked up and used as a weapon, a distraction, or a tool. Yeah, 100%. This is what I was saying earlier, guys. I mean, I can do a lot of different things when you're trying to take on an enemy or trying to go stealth. All of that stuff, dude. You can do any of that, and I've done some, but for the most part, I just like to just get into that first person perspective and start throwing fists. Your whip, an iconic part of Indy's toolbox, can help you reach new places, swing across chasms, or even take down enemies. It can also stun baddies, knock weapons away, scare away guard dogs, or help solve puzzles. Yeah, that's true. You can do all of that. A lighter you get early on can light up dark areas or ignite torches. Yeah, and I didn't find this out until later on that I had the lighter, which could have saved me in some areas of the game, which is fine. I still got through it. You can still get through it. Torches can be tossed across gaps to help light up faraway objects or can be used to set off explosives. Yes, you can do that too. Throughout my time with Great Circle, I was constantly surprised by how often I think, can I do this? Or will this work? Only to find that the answer was almost always yes. 100%. Same thing. When you're playing the game, right? Not all the time, but I'd say like, well, yeah, the majority of the time it does play out like that, which is good, man. Because again, it puts you into the story, it puts you into the character, it puts you to the actual world that you're occupying. Okay? And it feels so much like Indiana Jones. None of this stuff is done, um, as you're just getting into another level, or as you're trying to progress, which you are because it's a game, right? But everything is just points back to the character and the world, and that's what makes this game so great. That's what makes it so awesome. So. I don't know, I'm making this up as I go. This level of interaction and cause and effect isn't just fun and rewarding. It also lets you be Indiana Jones. This is a game all about improvising and making things up as you go. Here's an example. I was sneaking into an enemy base to grab some gold to buy an upgrade so I could enter a hidden temple. I successfully sneaked into the compound, taking on a few guards with swift melee attacks using a shovel and a wrench I found. Then I entered a building and started looking over documents about another dig site. I heard a guard nearby, so I stopped and picked up a glass bottle. Just as I was preparing to toss it out the window as a distraction, though the guard moved away and I went back to what I was doing. Then I picked up a sledgehammer, which I was going to use to break open a locked box, but oops, I dropped my bottle in the process, which shattered, alerting the guard. Yeah. Now, a lot of people can be complaining about the actual, well, sorry, guys. Been actually complaining about the actual AI of the characters. I I understand what they're saying, right? But for me, it's all about the story, and as long as it doesn't break the story for me, takes me out of the story, then I'll be fine. He came in, and before I could take him out, yelled for his friends. I whipped his gun, shot him, and then shot two more who entered. A big guy showed up and beat me to the ground, I crawled, I crawled to my hat, picked it up, and took him down with a few good jabs. I grabbed his dropped baton and jumped out the window. Landed, tossed the baton at an enemy in the way, and slid under a fence into the jungle. I dressed up as a soldier, outfits are a feature in the game, and walked back into the building. I dodged the captain who could see through my disguise, got what I needed, and left as guards patrolled on high alert. Yeah, dude, this dude is yeah, he's living the life right now. That's how good this game is. You can do all of that. And one of the things I feel bad about, and probably I'll go back and play it, is I didn't know that in the beginning. As you play the game, right? I like to just experience it for myself. Then you learn as you go, and that's kind of the great thing about this game, right? If you know Indiana Jones, the character in the world, you kind of see things as you're playing the game, and you just think, oh, that's probably what would happen. Or if I like there was this one part I wanted to, I just saw the gate, and I just was like, oh, dude, there has to be a way to open up this gate, and you kind of figure it out because you're in the world of Indiana Jones. And when you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, it's probably like a switch there, and you see this pedestal just sitting there, and then I turn, and there's this bust of one of the great philosophers or whatever, and you look at it, then it highlights, and it kind of tells you, oh, okay, so I'm pretty much probably gonna have to pick this up. If I put it on the sand, something's gonna happen, and then the gate gets lifted, right? Stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I missed a lot of that in the beginning when I was playing, and so I see myself. I was actually thinking about actually going back and restarting the game, knowing the things that I know now, just because I played the game. But I'm like, I'll just continue, then I'll just come back and replay it. Because like you talked about earlier, dude, remember this is a Bethesda game, so there's very Bethesda things in there. Like the way that you power up your character. They have these little books throughout the game that you'll find. And the thing that's interesting about that is that that's a very Bethesda thing, but it doesn't feel like a Bethesda thing. You realize it, right? But they write it so well into the actual gameplay. They write it so well into the story of the game that it doesn't really, again, it doesn't jar you out of the world that you're occupying when it comes to Indiana Jones. It fits right in there, dude. It makes sense. Nothing's gonna sit there and make you think, oh man, that's like a Bethesda thing. No, it's. I mean, you realize it after a while, but you're so inundated with everything that's going on in the game itself and the world that they built. Um, This kind of stuff happened all the time when I played Great Circle. It's a game that lets you pull off really cool moves, but also lets you fail just as easily. If failing is fun in Great Circle, as you then have to sorry, yes, improvise your way out of the situation, just like Indy so often does in the movies. And the Great Circle nails that part of the franchise. As you progress through all these Indiana Jones moments and locations, including Egypt and a snowy mountain, you earn adventure points which you can use to unlock new abilities or improvements. Though you'll first need to discover skill books. Yeah, yeah, that's that mechanic that's in the game, and it's pretty awesome. I really like it. This means that discovering a new tomb or solving a puzzle or just helping someone who has been kidnapped by Nazis will reward you with the points you need to become an even better adventurer. And yet, you don't get points for killing or fighting because ultimately that's not what Indiana Jones is about. Sure, he'll kill some people if he needs to, but he's an explorer and an archaeologist first. The Great Circle reinforces this idea. One of the things that kind of why I don't really go to the pistol a lot of the times. Whereas, like I said, I like the fisticuffs because if you guys remember when the movie first came out, one of the great things was the action sequences and those big scene moments in the movie. But one of the things I love the most is when I remember the first time watching the movie. Right, it's just like when Indiana Jones hits somebody, right? It's telegraphed in the way they did the body. Of course, it's Hollywood, right? This is how they have to sell it to the audience, right? They want you to actually feel it. But it's just that one sound that they have when you hit somebody. That was so iconic in Indiana Jones. Again, like last video, I talked about this. Like it's the same way you feel when you hear a Tie Fighter for the first time, right? When you watch Star Wars and you hear this, the sound that the Tie Fighters make, right? It's so the punch mechanic and the sound and stuff like that. And then when you're doing it in that first person perspective, dude, it really puts you in the driver's seat of what Indiana Jones is all about. And that's probably one of the biggest things that hooked me from the jump, is when I first started punching people. Right? Surprise! A new Indiana Jones movie is here. Oh yeah, this is funny because this is what I was talking about. At this point, you might have noticed that I've not talked about the story or characters in Great Circle, and that's because I don't want to spoil any of it. If you're a fan of Indiana Jones movies, what Great Circle offers is something I thought impossible in 2024. A new indie movie starring young Harrison Ford, voiced perfectly by Troy Baker. Yeah, he sounds really good. And I don't want to ruin that gift. I will say that Machine Games clearly studied the past films while making Great Circle. Camera angles and lighting and cutscenes look very 1980 Spielberg, 100%. And the cast of characters Indy meets would feel right at home in any of the films, 100%. Look, dude, as a fan and somebody who was there when the movie first came out in theaters, it takes you back. It really does. That's why if you're a hardcore fan of the movies and the character and the world, you gotta play this game. I do want to shout out the main villain of the game, Emmerich Voss, a Nazi archaeologist and Indy's old rival. I haven't even got to see him yet. But what I will say is the first time that you meet the female protagonist, the one that ends up tagging along with Indy later on, when you meet her, just the dialogue with her made me buy into this game even more. Like 100%, I was all in. So I can imagine how it is when I finally meet this guy because everybody's been raving about how great a villain he is, and that's a make or break thing with Indiana Jones. Man, is the villains, right? And he's the villain in the sense of the way people say he is over the top, but it's like good over the top. Right? And I won't spoil some of it because I know people want to experience for themselves. I know I do. Spoilers doesn't really bother me, but I can't wait to see how the interaction between him and Indy are. How they do it. So at first, I was worried that Voss would be just another Nazi, but as the game progresses, it becomes clear that while he has evil plans that involve powers and relics beyond his understanding, he also just desperately wants to impress Indiana Jones. He wants Indy to respect him, talk to him, work with him, and admit that Voss is better, smarter, and more successful. It kind of reminds me of like Doctor Doom and Reed Richards, right? That's the type. I mean, the way he writes it, that's the type of relationship they kind of have. Indy doesn't do that, as you would expect, and watching the two of them go back and forth on screen is fantastic. Boss is a highlight of the game and will go down as one of the best indie villains around. By the time I wrapped Great Circle, I realized what I played was just one of the best games of 2024, but it was maybe my favorite Indiana Jones adventure across the entire franchise since Crusade. And yet, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle doesn't rely solely on nostalgia, fan service, or that iconic John Williams fanfare that plays whenever Indy succeeds. If it did, it would be a great game. I'd only recommend for fans of the series. Instead, I recommend that everyone who loves immersive sims and mechanically rich stealth games action games play Great Circle. It's one of the best games Bethesda's ever published, and I'm happy this thing will be on PS5 next year so other people can experience it. Now, on his final comment here, I'm happy this thing will be on PS5 next year so more people can experience it. You know how I roll on my channel, dude. Just buy an Xbox, right? Just buy an Xbox, dude. Why deny yourself the experience? Now, see, look, now it's actually moving. Yeah, sorry about that earlier, guys. Let me stop sharing this, dude. I'll go back. That was driving me crazy. Hey, Dale, what's up? Hey, Tool Man. Sorry, I was just doing a quick video. I wanted to do this last week. Uh, Ran into some issues during the week. Plus, I was playing games. So, man, there's so many games right now to be playing, guys. If you did not know, Xbox has or I did Xbox, they're doing their winter independent games thing, right? Where they put up a bunch of these games, and there's a lot of demos. Man, I think it's like 30 something games. I don't know. It's a ridiculous amount of games. It was on the homepage on your Xbox. I also read articles about it, and so I just selected a lot of the games, put it on my wish list. I'm gonna try and go through it this weekend and play some of them. A lot of them look amazing. You guys know I'm a big ID at Xbox fan. Again, dude, Xbox is just killing it, especially this holiday season. There's a lot of stuff on sale. Just go out in the store. I know, I agree with Sega, man. 100%, dude. We're not getting the best deals, but there's some great deals out there. And for a lot of the games, if you guys want to take that chance, man, a lot of this stuff is 50 to 80% off of some of these big AA and AAA games that are out there. My biggest disappointment was Liza P. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I tried playing the game. I do not like the control mechanics at all for the game. I love the look of the game. The story looks amazing. I might still buy. I'll probably still buy it just to support Nacon. I love their games. And again, it's not the game itself, guys. I'm not a Souls guy. I can't stand those games, dude. I just don't. I can't stand games that are built to just frustrate you. Like you're just there. It's the same. I'll put it to you this way. It's the same way I felt when I went to Vegas for the first time, and gambled, and realized that gambling, there's no win. The house, I could see why the people say the house always wins. Sure, you can win, you can try and break the system, but they keep you there long enough that you're gonna lose, and that's how I feel a lot with Souls games. Right? It's just like when I'm playing and I'm like, I'll get past the boss because I'm lucky. And I don't like games that are like that, dude. I want games. And hopefully with AI, they do this. I've heard some stuff they're doing with AI in video games right now that I'm not loving. And if this is the direction they're going to, I won't. I'll be the biggest person or the biggest hater of AI in games. But with AI, there's a potential to make these games way smarter, a lot more realistic. And I would take realistic over. People want these games to be more accurate. I'm like, not accurate, realistic, because I want to occupy your world and your space, but I don't want to feel like I'm just running my head against the wall. And so hopefully, I mean, look, I'm gonna try again, Liza P, man, because I want to like it. But right now, it's been a little bit hard. But Xbox is killing it right now, dude. There's not all these people that are sitting out there. You've been exposed, right? You guys sit here and say Xbox has no games. You're liars. It's the same thing with Indiana Jones or some of these guys that I follow. When I put my 2 cents out there and they comment back to me, which is fine, I tell them straight up. I was like, dude, do you own it? I ask them, do you own an Xbox? Right? And 9 times out of 10, it'll be no, they don't own an Xbox. They don't have Game Pass. Right? And why I'm saying this right now is not to crap on how they feel. They can have their opinion. I don't care. Well, but as a person who is Xbox all in, if you are like this too, and this is your main console, this is the ecosystem that you're going to occupy, dude, you need to realize and let these people know that, look, dude, we come from a different perspective on this stuff. Right? You hear Unlimited talk about this all the time when it comes to gaming, right? It's like, regardless of all the stuff that's going on politically, all the stuff that's going on in pop culture, all the culture war stuff and things like that, at the end of the day, he just wants to play a good game, right? And in order for you to have those experiences, dude, you're going to have to take chances, guys, right? I told you guys, man, I really want to play that game, Dustborn. I believe it's called Dustborn. Right. I should have bought it when it was $14.99. The reason why I'm not buying it now is because look, dude, I'm not gonna buy a game, and it's gonna be a game I hate, and it checks all the boxes I feel it is. But when I saw the trailer for it, dude, there's just gameplay mechanics in there that I absolutely love about games. You guys know I like Yakuza. You guys know I like these type of games, right? And it has those elements in those games. It has a very comic booky vibe to it, right? So I'm gonna, I'm not gonna pay full price for it. But it was like 14.99. I should have bought it because, and you're gonna have to do that, guys. Sometimes, dude. I understand that it's probably gonna be woke. I don't like some of the character choices that they did, but the way that the characters interact, the story that is woven, the comic booky aspect of it, dude. Some of the mini games that they have on there, I'm gonna be willing to take a chance on the game. And if it's woke, I'll tell you guys if it's woke. But if it's woke and it's good, right? Because like right now, I see a lot of people in the entertainment arena that I occupy. Squid Game 2 is coming on. It's a sequel. One of the red flags for me was the guy didn't want to do a sequel. Like he made the Squid Game movie is made the way he exactly wanted it, so he didn't want to add or detract anything else from it, right? But then Netflix comes around and puts a big wad of money on his drops it in his lap, and he's like, "Well, I guess I'm doing Squid Game too." So the only what I mean by red flag, one of the check marks again that pops up for me is like, well, this might be not as good as the original. Yeah, number one, it's a sequel. Anytime there's a sequel, dude, it's very rare that the sequel is better than the original. You hope that it's just as good, but it's very rare that it exceeds. One of the few ones that did that was like, I'll use that as an example, was X-Men 2. Okay, you had the first X-Men, which was great. They did a good job establishing the world, the characters, all this stuff. X-Men 2 took that and just blew it out of the water. They went that extra 5 miles and they made it actually my favorite X-Men movie is X-Men 2, right to this day. So my point being is like there's a lot of people talking about Squid Game too, and there's some stuff that's popping up, right? Um, in the trailer and the clips that people are sharing that again, a lot of people are thinking, oh, this thing's gonna be woke. Now, some of these people commenting on this stuff don't actually know Korean cinema. I'm not saying I'm a hands down expert. I spend a lot of time consuming their product, right? And the first thing I have to let people know when I'm in these spaces talking to these guys is like, look, dude, South Korea is a very conservative country, right? Um, when people talk about patriarchy here in America, they have patriarchies in South Korea, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, right? They're very family oriented, right? It's male dominated, which a lot of stuff is, if we're being honest, right? And there's certain movements and cultural norms there that if you live in the states, dude, you have nothing to complain about. I'm just sorry, dude. No, no. A lot of people, dude. The way that our society is now, especially here in America, you have so many choices. You have so much freedom, especially on your livelihood. Now we're taking a hit with the financials and all that stuff, right? I could talk about it on my channel. But what I'm trying to say is like those people don't know the little quirks and stuff about stuff that goes on in South Korea, right? Because they don't follow it on that level, right? Either the gaming aspect or the pop culture, which include their entertainment, movies, TVs, and music. But it's so huge now that it's everywhere, so people are starting to come in. So one of the characters that looks like he's going to play a transvestite type character, a trans. But the actor himself, dude, because people don't know who he is, he's a great actor. And then I'm sitting there, look, dude, you guys know how I feel, dude. I'm a Christian. I don't buy into that lifestyle any way, shape, or form. But what I do like is a good performance. Okay, and I know this dude is a great actor. Now most people won't know because they don't know a lot of the stuff that he does. Right, the actor who's playing this role, and I can see why they got him for the role because three of the shows that he's been in, one of them is huge right now. Actually, I can't think of the name of the show. Sorry, I'm old. But it put him on the map, dude. But the way that he's able to occupy his character and the way that he's a great actor. And so I'm actually looking forward to how he plays the character in the show. Now, if it's woke, I'll let you guys know. Right, whatever woke stuff is there, I'll put it in. Just like I'm gonna keep it 100 on my channel. If it's woke, I'll let you guys know because I don't like that stuff. I don't like the DEI stuff at all. Right, but at some point in time, man, you're gonna have to. If you want to experience certain things, dude, you're gonna have to take a chance. And sometimes it ain't gonna work out for you, man. Sometimes it ain't. Or you have to find people that you trust, right? Like shout out to Tool Man and Dea. Definitely trust their opinions on things. Right? Especially my girl Dea. We talk a lot about a lot of this stuff that's going on in popular culture. No offense to man, brother. You're more than welcome on the podcast as well. Let me tell you. But a lot of the stuff we talk about when it comes to this stuff focuses around the stuff that's going on in popular culture because we occupy this space, and I know Dea has been doing this for a long time. Guys like Hebot have been doing this for a long time. Our boy Sega Man's been doing this for a long time. E-Rock, you guys definitely know. He's got his finger on the pulse when it comes to pop culture because this is the way that we grew up, right? So it's not that hard for me to talk about Indiana Jones, man, because I still remember to this day the visceral experience about seeing it in the first time in the theater. Like I told you guys, man, it was very rare that I got to watch a movie. I don't even know who paid for this movie or who I went with or how I got it. right? But at the end of the day, man, you remember those moments, dude. And when a game can capture those moments and take and transport you back to your childhood and what you love the most about it as a fan, then I'm all on board. And so let me wrap it up really quick now. Dea, I'll try and do a podcast later, and then I'll hit you up. I'm just gonna be real busy today. Like I said, I have to. Um, I got stuff I got to take care of, and that's why I didn't do the podcast this morning like I wanted to. That I was like, dude, I wasn't feeling. I was sick on Wednesday, and then it just rolled over to the weekend. I had a hard time sleeping last night. Stayed up too late, and that's why I couldn't get up early in the morning to do the podcast. And so I'm kind of paying for it now. But if you guys haven't played Indiana Jones, oh yeah, dear, thank you, and thank you, Toolman, thank you for being here. Toolman says, "What's up, brother?" Yeah, thanks, Dea. Thanks, Toolman. Um, yeah, dude, that was a great article, but I was surprised. Kotaku of all places. And the problem with Kotaku is that if they just did that, if Kotaku would just write articles like that instead of pointing out stupid things like Trump derangement syndrome and sexism in Japan. They want to be a pop culture channel, but most articles they write are just anti pop culture, right? It's one thing to have your viewpoint and opinion, and you can do an editorial on it, but people come to you guys to get the news and information. And this is why the media is failing so badly and why people are watching people like this channel. Look, I don't have a big following, but people do watch the content. And there's bigger channels than me that do this all the time. And people are just tired of being, for the most part, lied to. Right? Because when things are editorial and they're opinionated, that's people got to realize, especially these reporters, that's your opinion. And gosh, not everybody's going to agree with you. Like some people don't care that there's Nazis in Indiana Jones, right? I think one of the things I saw was people were complaining about the Red Skull being in the new Marvel game that's out now, the free to play one. It's a Marvel Rival, something like that. It's like Overwatch, and so people are playing that. And a key villain in the Marvel Cinematic or in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Universe, comic book universe is the Red Skull. It's Captain America's biggest rival, and he's a throwback character because of the character of Captain America. Oh, not Captain Marvel, Captain America, sorry, right? And a lot of people, like myself, who grew up reading Marvel comics, would like to see him in the game if I played it, right? But then these people are losing their lunch over it. They're like, "Oh, he's a Nazi. You can't have him in there." I was like, the world has Nazis. There's Nazis now. If you guys didn't know, right? Yeah, thanks, Dale. Same. I have a lot to do as well. No worries. Yeah, I mean, I'll still try and do it, but no promises. I gotta help my daughter with something later on this afternoon. But I hope my niece can live up to it. I just can't wait till Christmas, man. I'm gonna have some days off, and then we'll do a lot more stuff. I kind of wanted to do another video just going over, like, kind of reacting to the um, gameplay videos, or not gameplay videos, trailers, gameplay trailers, or trailers that came out. You guys know I don't watch the Game Awards. I was just joking on Unlimited's podcast. I don't watch that trash. And obviously, from what I've seen online, a lot of people are tuning out as well. Look, dude, Jeff Keighley, there's a reason he was the second banana, or actually he was like the fourth banana at G4 when he worked over there, and Tina Wood and Laura Ford did all the heavy lifting, right? Because that dude is horrible. He's somebody needs to talk to him about his production value when it comes to his television show. And I understand that he has like some things that he has to. It's going to be foundational, right? Because of the sponsorships and stuff like that. I totally get it. Most people do, right? But I heard who won Game of the Year, and I thought it was funny, right? Because I see again, I don't watch the Game Awards, right? But a lot of people still do, and there were people that was talking about Wukong. Wukong should have won, right? And I guess it was Astrobot. Don't know anything about Astrobot. Don't own a PS5. Never gonna own one. Don't own a PlayStation. Never gonna own one. I don't care how good Astrobot is, right? Um, but I heard, I mean, and then Hebot talked about it. He said it's a great game, right? Fine, right? But the way that everything goes with these award shows, right? It's again, this is why I say these award shows are turning into nothing but the Oscars, right? That's all it is. There's Academy Awards selections, right? Nobody cares about most of those movies. There's some movies that'll hit a nerve, but for the general public, man, people don't care. This is why like summer blockbuster films just destroy any Oscar nominated film. It's very rare that an Oscar nominated film. I think maybe My Greek Wedding. Oh, was that even Oscar nominated? There's been very few movies that have attained the level of success on both aspects, right? Um, it's just like if a person wins a presidential election and they get the electoral college and the popular vote, right? In the world of movies, it's and especially these high end type movies that get nominated by the Academy, right? It's very rare that they make box office at all, right? And then what they used to do before was rely on word of mouth, and then with the VHS sales, videotapes, and then naturally DVD, and then eventually Blu-ray. But even that market is dead. So these guys can't do that either. Same, I have a lot to. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. We should do a segment with the Muppets. They roasted Jeff Keighley. It was funny. Oh really? Maybe we can do that. Yeah, and do a reaction if you want. We could do that. Yeah, Jeff Keighley, dude. I mean, if there's anybody in the industry that shows that they're bootlicking, man, it's that dude. And I named this dude for a long time, you know. And he's never been. I don't know how he's attained the level that he's attained. I kind of used to like him in the beginning because at the end of the day, he would bring us something. You know what I'm saying? Like he would bring trailers and stuff like that. But the way gaming is now, dude, that's all old hat, dude. The old media is dead. Like Elon says, you are the media. He's 100% true. I know some people don't like Elon. Some people don't agree with his politics. Some people don't like when he says this kind of thing. But it's just the absolute 100% true. You don't have to rely on these guys anymore, right? Because honestly, you can't rely on these guys. These guys lie all the time, constantly. Xbox guys know this more than anybody because we've been dealing with this longer than any of the other console makers have been and making it. And it's funny because now they're starting to turn on those guys too, which I absolutely love. Right? If you're an Xbox guy, dude, you've been baptized by fire in this gaming space, right? So you know what time it is, you know what's up, dude. You're grizzled, you're hardened, right? You're ready to take it on, right? Yeah, dude, let's do that. I want to go drop off my daughter, and then I gotta run errands, and I got something I gotta do on the personal side, and then if I come back later on this afternoon, we'll see. Okay, and I'll hit you up there. I'll definitely hit you up and see if the rest of the crew wants to come in as well to get our reactions. If I do a full podcast, now yeah. Do you want to try and do the Do you want to do the gameplay? I'll do the trailers because there's a couple of trailers that I saw that was really cool. Like I looked at the I don't know what all the drama is about The Witcher as far as the girl, the way she looks. I had no problem with it. In fact, me and my daughter watched the we watched the trailer last night, and like my daughter was 100% correct. We watched that trailer, and I was like, dude, she looks. Because my daughter's like, oh, she looks older, she looks grizzled. You know, what I mean, it's like like everything made sense. But if you were online earlier, like she looks like a dude, she's ugly. I was like, dude, she looks like a Viking to me from the jump when I saw her. So again, I don't agree with people on that. Um, and then what was the other one that people were talking about? Anyway, look, dude, it's like the soup du jour right now. It's par for the course. If you're a gamer, man, you're just gonna have to do the heavy lifting yourself and actually game. And just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's woke, right? You guys gonna have to be able to discern that. And I'm telling you guys that now because there's a lot of people that canceled their Indiana Jones, the game that they pre-ordered because they were afraid that it's woke. And I don't blame them for that. It's their time, it's their money. I don't want to drop 100. What was it like 150, $199 on that limited edition game just for it to be something that you don't want. I get that 100%. But now a lot of people are kicking themselves in the ass because, dude, a lot of people wanted that globe. Right? It's just a basic globe, but it has the red line on it. It's circular, right? It fits into you know how collectors are, right? So hopefully they can get that back. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to, right? But now it's ruined that. And so, look, dude, I understand both. Look, I don't want to pay for something that I don't want, so better to err on the side of caution. But then again, when it isn't what people think it is, then you lose out on an experience. So hopefully, there's a lot of people coming to play the game. Some of the guys who decided that they're going to skip it have been reading the reviews, have been watching videos like this one, not mine per se, but people are coming on and talking about it as fans, right? Which is at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're fans of this content, and then they're buying into it and they're listening to the people, and then they're being reassured, and then they're playing the game and they're like, oh man, this game's awesome. So that's the best thing that we can do right now, especially on the Xbox side, guys. Look, Xbox, I don't agree with their DEI and all their political stuff, right? But what I do like about Xbox is that they don't try and they don't do what Facebook did to me, and why I don't really use my Facebook account is just constantly destroy my account. because they don't like my politics or they don't like some of the stuff I post or somebody reports me. And this is all true because Mark Zuckerberg came up, he bent the knee to Trump, and he basically he told everybody what the FBI was doing. They were rigging social media, especially at the last election. Right? So, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Musubi, Dea says hello.
Oh, hi.
She says hi. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to look at the trailers and give you. Yeah, and we'll do the same thing. Like we did last time. There, I'll just pause it whenever you want to comment on it. We can do it that way because there was a lot of great trailers. At least I mean the trailers is trailers, right? But I enjoy them. I thought they looked good. Like they have the new Onimusha coming out. That looked pretty cool. And I guess it's for all systems. That's another thing. And that's the only thing about the trailers, guys. If it's on PlayStation, I won't do it, right? Because I'm an Xbox channel, and that's the way I roll. So, but if it's for all consoles, or even if it's for everybody, then I'll do it. If it's multi-console, sorry. That globe is of an older map of the country too, one where the country lines were different. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out there. Pretty unique, if you ask me. I'm still thinking about. I'm contemplating getting it, but Christmas is around the corner. My kids are expensive now. A stocking and some toys just don't cut it. Dude, even if I bought a stocking and a toys, how much is that gonna cost? That's like over $100 now. Dude, I went shopping last night, $200. I don't even know what I bought. I have a Christmas party. I have to buy paper plates, man. Paper plates at Sam's is like almost $30 now. I stood there for a moment. I looked at those paper plates, and I was mad. I looked at the paper plates, and in my mind, I was standing there going, "How dare you? How dare you have the nerve you have to ask for $30? $30. I don't care if there's 1,000 plates in here, dude. Your paper plates, you can put whatever you want on the packaging. The strongest paper plates ever, dude. Your paper plate. There's a thought that came to my mind. I was like, dude, I bet you if I go to Macy's right now with their 80% sale, I'd probably get a full set for the Christmas party at my workplace for cheaper. Right? It's ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. This is why I can't buy all the games on sale. Like this economy is ridiculous. Kill the income tax. Let us keep more of my money. I was arguing with people on that because I was saying, yeah, we should get rid of the income tax. And they're like, well, inflation, or no, what did he say? Tariffs are a tax. I was like, bro, inflation is a tax. Dude, do you not shop? Do you not buy milk? Dude, milk is like, and then that's why I have to buy my milk at Sam's Club because it's still, supposed to be, how much is the milk? You remember? Is it like $6 now? Or $5? Yeah. Dude, we're going back to the 90s here in Hawaii. Like milk here, when I first moved back here, like milk was like $9. And then Walmart and some of these big box stores moved here. And that brought the price of the milk down. You guys, man, this place is ridiculous. Anyway, this is why I can kind of sympathize with somebody. If I play 190, 150, 199, whatever, for that super edition, whatever that is that I'm paying, and then the thing it sucks and it's like number one, it's horrible and it's both, I will be mad. So that's why I sympathize with people like that, right? There says, "Wow, milk is $5." Yeah, that's at Sam's. Yeah, that's cheap. Sam's hasn't. They raised their price. It used to be $4, and they raised their price in the $5 range, right? But Sam's does what a lot of these stores do, right? Because the bottom line not for Sam's because they're a big box company, but for a lot of grocery stores do this, dude. So they'll do is they'll keep the milk at a certain level, but then go look at how much all the other stuff is, right? Like the eggs went up exponentially. The eggs are ridiculous, no matter where you go, right? So they hide the cost in other things to cover the cost. So you got to be very shopper savvy. But at the end of the day, I dropped $200. Yeah, must be it was $200.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my card and I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous because I'm very. Well, you can ask my kids. I mean, sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, Dad, can I get Pop Tarts?" I'm like, "Is it 2 for $5?" Oh, sorry. No Pop Tarts today. Or no, drive my kids nuts, right? Because we'll be at the store and I was like, "Oh, let's go get some. Let's get Oreos." And the only reason we're getting the Oreos, right, is just like 2 for $5. And those 2 for $5 days here are ridiculous. Yeah, so yeah, it is. And it's like $5.48. But you have to go to Sam's, and I think Costco is like $5 something. But if you shop at any other place, you're gonna pay. That's why I started buying the ultra filtered milk at Walmart. We don't drink milk as much. It's good to have if you're gonna cook or make something. Like I make mashed potatoes sometimes, right? To have it on hand, or if you want the kids just want to eat cereal or oatmeal, or you want to mix it in with a protein drink. right? But I've, good thing we've cut back on milk because, dude, I could just imagine if you have young kids and you have to buy milk, dude, it'd be ridiculous. The amount of money you'd be spending on milk alone, on just on groceries, and everything's expensive, guys. It's hard to like. I'm trust me, I've done that my whole life, the way I've grown up. I mean, I remember we used food stamps. I didn't even know what that stuff was. All I know is I have to lick it and put it on the card, right? Then you go to the store, then you hand it over, and then your bill would magically be cheaper, right? And I was a young kid when this was happening, and then then people would always stare at you in line, and you never knew why. And as I got older, right, as they say, ignorance is bliss. As you get older, right, it's because of you use the food stamps. I'm not gonna lie, I miss those days though. And back then, like we used to buy potted meat, Vienna sausage, corned beef, spam. What else must it be? Sardines. And I remember when we moved from Hawaii to Florida, dude, those things was like 13 cents, 50 cents, 20 cents. Right? It was like super cheap. And then but I did get the question of I did get asked if I lived in a trailer park. So that white trash thing is no joke, man. I grew up on that side of the tracks when I lived in the mainland. That stuff is real. But yeah, it is crazy good, yeah. But yeah, let me go, guys, because I gotta go drop my daughter off and I got stuff to do. And so, thank you guys for joining. Yeah, thank you for being here, Tool Man, and anybody who watches it. Go get the game. If you're an Indiana Jones fan and you play video games, it's like chocolate and peanut butter. This is a no-brainer. You need to be playing this game. You need to be playing it now. You should be occupying your time when it comes to your gaming for the Christmas holiday season, right? This is a no-brainer. Go get the game. Um, yeah, sure. You might not like the politics of some of the people at Microsoft, some of the people that work at Bethesda. But at the end of the day, I mean, hey, what's up, Global? Happy holidays, brother. At the end of the day, dude, if we want to live in this in this society, right? Given what happened in this last election, dude, we're all gonna have to find a way to get along, right? At the end of the day. But anyway, it's been an hour, guys. Thanks for joining, Pogoman. Shout out to you, dude. I'll do a podcast later. Let me know if you want to jump in. Don't forget, Call of Duty's having a double X. They kind of sprung it on us. I saw where Xbox was dropping that it's a free play weekend for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. If you have not gotten the game and want to try it out, definitely do it. It's worth the download. It'll probably take you 20 hours to download it. But it has double XP weekend as well, which is smarter than everything they're doing. Everything Microsoft is doing with Call of Duty is spectacular. 100% spectacular. Like doing a free play weekend right now during the holiday season, and then throwing double XP on top of that with all the modes they have in the game, with all the bona fides that this game is getting. Dude, you guys need to give it a whirl, especially if you're old school COD like me. And there's some stuff coming out about COD and stuff like that. At the end of the day, dude, it feels like old COD, right? Just go with that, and at least try it out, and then try out all the independent games. There's a lot of great games out there for all you weeaboos out there who tell me you like Japanese games, and that's one of the reasons why you don't like Xbox because we don't have Japanese games. You're gonna have to do some digging. There's a bunch of Japanese games coming over right now. Maybe not the games you want, but definitely some cool old school type Japanese games. Did in a modern veil, done in a modern veil, right? Like they've upgraded the graphics. It's more of a throwback, more of a love letter type game to the old school 8-bit days when we played these games on Super Nintendo. For people like Sega Man and Ebot, they probably had the Super Famicom, because they were rich back then and I was poor. But they can tell you all about this stuff, man. Those guys are retro gaming masters. And if you miss those, like a lot of you guys say, man, you wish Xbox had this stuff. Well, it's there. You guys gonna have to do some digging though, man. Can't do all the heavy lifting for you guys, man. If you guys are gamer, this is a no brainer. That's what I call you. That's why I'm calling a lot of you guys out, man. Because you guys tell me you guys are gamers, but I don't see it. Just being honest, dude. Oh, Dale says happy holidays, Gogo. Oh, I need to level up my battle pass. I've been lazy. Yeah, dude, that's why I'm playing it. Because I'm almost finished with the battle pass. It sucks because I need to get back on Overwatch too because my boy got his new skin. Who I play with? What's it be? Reinhardt. My boy Reinhardt. He got a Thor skin. They're evil too, right? Isn't that like that? What is that? What is that triple? It's legendary. What is it? Yeah, it's mythic, man.
They did change it though, so that uh, it's easier to like get the skin throughout the battle pass. You don't have to get to like level 80.
It'd be easier if you did it for me.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. My daughter could get that in 2 shakes. It'll take me like three weeks to get that stupid skin. I still like Overwatch, guys. I still do. I mean, it's about the world and the characters at the end of the day. Unfortunately, a lot of the people playing are more about the world and the characters and not the actual game, which sucks. You die a lot, especially when you're Reinhardt. Ah, kids these days. Okay, Coco Paul says, "Hey there." Coco Paul says, "What's up, Tuna?" All right, guys. Yeah, thanks, Coco, for being here, brother. Was there anything else that I wanted to say? But anyway, stay tuned, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. Dale will hook up. Coco, if you want to do that, we're gonna do some trailers and stuff like that. What I'll do is I'll do it like we'll just do a hangout. I'll just take a lot of the trailers, set them up, and then just we'll go watching all of them and just we'll discuss and talk about it. Because there was a lot of good trailers at the end of the day. The show sucks, but the trailers were good. Because these companies know, man, they can't mess around anymore. Dude. They got to bring the good stuff. Competition's high. The market's about hopefully the market about to switch over. People are gonna start having more money, right? And Microsoft is already shifting their focus. I know a lot of us don't agree with it. You guys know how I feel about exclusivity. Exclusivity is important, right? I 100% I agree. But at the end of the day, so is gaming, right? And so they're giving me everything that I want right now. Okay. Of the one or two things that they do that I don't agree with, there's 100 things that they're doing right now that makes me enjoy gaming. So, all right, Coco, let me know, dude. Yeah, we'll do it. Okay. Sure, I should be on. Yeah, there's lots of stuff to talk about. Yeah, dude, we'll do it. We'll do it. Dude, okay, I gotta go, guys, because like unlimited voices in my head right now telling me to end the show. So, Xbox Online channel, host second for we out.